Hey runners, Friday, May 15th, and just hanging out here outside my backyard. Beautiful morning. Temperature, what is the temperature? It's got to be in the low 70s. It's about 8:40 in the morning. Had a great run this morning. Originally, I was going to go out for 6 miles and actually did 7. Decided to park at our local running shop called Soul Sports. There's a couple locations here in Phoenix, and the one that I parked at is in Tempe, so not too far from here. Nice just to kind of get away and do something a little different. So parked there and went about almost a mile and a half to the canal, and then headed east on the canal for a couple miles, and then just kind of explored down some really nice streets by some local businesses, like Shutterfly, I believe, was around there. Of course, there was hardly any traffic at all, although looks like they are back to work with some of the businesses around there. But really, there was maybe one or two cars that I saw on the roads. So my goal today was to just run at a good pace, nothing like a hard workout, and nothing that was like super easy. Last weekend I had a really good 9 miler, and that was a kind of a negative split approach where I started out with running like 9:25s for a couple miles and then dialed it back. I think down to like my last mile was like at 8:34, which is quicker than I was intending to go on the last mile, but I did negative split and that was the goal, and felt pretty good. A little tired there at the last couple miles, but overall felt strong. Today's effort was really just to stay, with my heart rate, probably around 132, 135, and I think I was around there about 133, maybe 135, and towards the last mile or two. But I felt great. Didn't have to stop, and really hit my splits, if you will. Just kind of looking at my data here. First mile, I ran a 9:17, and the course that I ran, just to back up a bit, was was pretty flat. I mean, there's really no climbs, and it's really good when you are wanting to go out for a steady run and not really have your heart rate spike too high. That's nice in itself. But most of the first couple miles were on either sidewalk, because the streets were a little busy on the main strip, and then on the canal there's either concrete sidewalk or like dirt, hard packed dirt. So I ran on a little bit of everything today, which is good because I find that the sidewalk for me, if I'm doing a longer run, just kind of makes my knees sore and it's harder on the body. I'd say 99% of my runs are on the roads out here in the streets, and it is more forgiving. Of course, the dirt is softer, but you don't get the traction, which I don't mind running on dirt. It's smooth. Trails, for example, for a little bit at least. So I had a nice mix of terrain, if you will, virtually all flat, which is nice. Looking at the splits here in 9:17 first mile, and then I really honed in, and for the next looks like 4, even 5 miles, I was holding steady at 9:08, 9:09. It was 9:08 for the second, 9:09 for the third, 9:08 for the fourth, 9:08 for the fifth, and then 9:11 for the sixth. And I picked it up a little bit and finished strong with a 9 on the 7th mile. Originally I was going to just target for 6, and then maybe thought 6.5, and I said, I'm already there, might as well shoot for 7. So I did that and felt pretty good. My heart rate average is not correct because it said 145, But I'm using the Garmin heart rate on the optical versus the heart rate strap, which I do have. I don't like wearing it as much. It is a little more accurate, but sometimes it takes a while for it to read, or it'll spike up real high. So for the most part, the watch is accurate. But what I do after each mile, I'll take my pulse here on the carotid, and that'll put me in line within probably 6 beats per minute. So when I was doing that on the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th mile, my heart rate was on average probably about 130, from 133 to 138. I don't think it ever really got to 140. Maybe it spiked here and there, but on average, the second half of the run was probably right around 135, and then the first 3 miles was about probably like upper 120s, 130. So my average was around 132, let's call it 133, and that puts me about 77% heart rate, max heart rate. So I'm happy with that. Really good day. It's beautiful temperature. I think the temperature was somewhere around mid 60s, like 66, 67. No wind. If there was, it was a very slight breeze. So I'm feeling great. It's middle of May, and the temperatures in mornings, since we've been having a little bit closer to average temperatures, like in the low 90s, the mornings have been really nice. A couple weeks ago, I couldn't say the same because we were around like 105 degrees, 106, and the lows were like mid 70s. So makes a difference. We're not there yet, but I know we're closer to those miserable days. But that's it. That was a recap kind of my run today, and hoping you guys are having a good day out there and staying safe. If you have any virtual races this weekend or getting out for a run, definitely have a good weekend doing that. Love to hear from you. If you have any comments, please feel free to drop them down below, and also hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet, and also the bell icon so that you can get notified once I release new videos. Hey, thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. Bye.